Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our Wednesday webinar kickoff. We have a double header this week, Wednesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. First off, I want to apologize. We're about 5 minutes behind here. We had some technical issues launching, which does happen from time to time, so my apologies. But I think this will be well worth the 30, 40 minutes spent with us this afternoon. Otherwise, we would not waste your time, as you know. So this is a hot product series, hot carrier, some new, over 12 new products that you have access to officially. So as you know, we've teased the Career Ameritas products in the past. They had some issues at the home office getting everything launched and ready with contracting and then commission grids and everything else. But finally, we are launching officially today on February 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern. So after this call, you are ready to start writing. So that's why we wanted to have this official hard launch today at 2 p.m. Eastern. I also wanted to invite our internal VP, Kevin, who is joining us from the home office. So he's going to speak in about 5 minutes or so, and he's going to dive into everything new, hot, and exciting for you all as independent agents, okay? Because they've had most of these products and riders and technology for a while now, but we never had access on the brokerage side, as you know. So this is very exciting for all of us, including our staff at Levinson and Associates, who is also on the call as well. So what we're going to do quickly is, I know we're a few minutes behind, but I just want to explain. I don't want to take any of Kevin's thunder, but I want to give you the 100-footer real fast. For so many years, right, we've had Ameritas on the IUL side, on the term side, with the best living benefits, right? Great technology, underwriting, no exam, no fluids, up to $2 million, right? Everything was great, but we had two products at the end of the day, right? And there was a need for the great whole life product, the great disability product that we just could not get access to. So now the entire door is wide open, and I want to make sure that all Levinson agents are comfortable with the product portfolio, right? With the living benefits, with the proprietary index that Ameritas offers for the IUL product. So there's so many bells, if you want to call it that you need to be comfortable with, because I know once you are and you explain this to the prospects and consumers, you're going to get the sale 99% of the time, right? No one has a lot of these perks and bells and whistles, call them whatever you want, but there's not another carrier out there that has the complete package like Ameritas. Yes, we know there's a bunch of non-med up to 2 million, 5 million, even 10 million now. Some great living benefit carriers out there, great IUL carriers, but no one has this diverse portfolio like Ameritas now has to offer us. So anyway, I don't want to take any of Kevin's time up, so we'll keep moving forward. I want to talk about what's most important to us is you, our agent. So most important, we don't sell on a retail level. This is very important because if you are an agent working with another IMO, right? If you have Levinson and then you work with maybe another IMO or two throughout the country, it's okay. You're not captive with us by any means, but the big question you need to ask and get it in writing, number one, is about releases, right? In case you don't like the way things are going, can you get a release? Okay, that's huge. Number two is, do you work with consumers? Do you sell on a retail level? And you wholesale at the same time? If so, I'm out. That's a conflict of interest. Why? Because there's one bucket of consumers and prospects. And if your upline is also fishing in the same bucket that you are, hello, okay, we know what happens there. It gets real muddy. It's a real gray area. It should not be legal, okay? So ask these questions, very, very important. Going back to our customer, which is our agent, okay, this means the world. You leave a review on our Google reviews page or our Facebook page, you get an IUL prospecting book that tees up the IUL sale almost immediately, or at least the appointment. okay? And now it's up to you to pivot and make a sale. So, real fast from Mike on the top left corner, Josh's service is always great. I enjoy his knowledge and what would work best for the client from the information I give him. He always helps to be able to ask the client the right questions. That's huge, okay? Well, bottom right corner, thanks so much for all your assistance. Thanks for all that you do and continue to do from Juliet. That's the world. That's what moves the needle internally here at Levinson. We share these comments around the office. Okay. In fact, we have now employees in 3 different states, but these are spread out to all employees. And then when we get a bunch in, we do a big luncheon, big party over the agents' reviews and compliments. Love this stuff. So please jump in. Feel free to share. Next slide here. This is awesome. Okay, so the big $10 million question, I should say $10 billion question as an agent out there in the field, if I put my agent hat on, is how do I get motivated, inspired, all right? And how do I keep it going, not just today, but throughout 2025, right? And how do I make more sales and supplement my income and have my best year ever, not just for me, but for my family, for my loved ones, for my children, okay? Well, the answer is, and this is a fact, is to surround yourself around other agents at your level, if not higher, okay? That's the number one fact, proof in the pudding, is what moves the needle as far as motivation and inspiration goes, right? You are who you surround yourself with, okay? They always say you take a circle of 5, okay? I'll take 3 or 4 out of the 5, and that's who you're going to be in a year from now, okay? And it's a fact. So be at our expo, okay? Point blank. 300 agents in attendance on April 11th, on Friday, okay? We'll have a packed room. In fact, we're kept at 300 by fire code, so make sure you RSVP soon because we're getting close. And when I say surround yourself with others that are doing as well as you, if not better, okay? We have a networking lunch that we put together on Friday, okay? The room is full of like-minded agents. We have MDRT agents, financial planners, okay, CFPs, CLUs in the house. We have 2 keynote speakers that are amazing. And here's why I say it's amazing. I'm not just saying this to try to build hype around this, okay? Let's just listen for 1 second. On the left-hand side, we have our annuity sales coach, Charles Samuel. He is speaking only about selling annuities. He came up with the 60-second close, okay? He is amazing, okay? And if you want to see or hear more before you commit to the expo, which is free, by the way, okay, we have a full course, a workshop that he literally sat down with our agents live on a Zoom call during an 8-week period. We recorded the entire thing for Levinson active agents. So check that out first, and then if you want, make your decision. Right-hand side, Mary Reed, best-selling author, okay? She is known for retirement planning strategies, tax-saving strategies. She works with higher-up MDRT agents, okay, clients that have a minimum net worth of $1 million, all the way up to hundreds and hundreds of millions, business owners, okay? She is brilliant. You ready for the best part? Now, we all know we have agents on this call from all over the country. Some of you focus on final expense, some just term. Some of you are MDRT monster multi-million-dollar producers, okay? It's great, but we all have a guy or girl or know someone, right? Down the street or from the gym or the pickleball court, whatever it is. We all know someone, okay, that's up there in that middle to upper class, if you will. Maybe it's a business owner. Great. She will literally do all of the heavy lifting for you, or she'll include you every step of the way, and you can work on the case and the client together. Best part, you keep the majority of the commissions. Even if you say, hey, Mary, here's the name and number, I'm out. Keep me posted if you need anything. You still keep most of the commissions. So we're going to give out these books at the expo free, and then she's speaking for 1 hour as well. So you talk about bringing in the monster case in 25, this is the way to do it, okay? Doesn't cost you a penny across the board. And left-hand side, you have, in fact, less than a month to qualify. 1 free night at our beachfront resort, okay? You get a 2-bedroom suite on the ocean. And then at 60,000, we pay for round trip airfare. 70,000 round trip airfare, 2 nights in our suite, everything included. And this has to be in all life and annuity apps or anything in between by the 1st of March. So you got to get those apps in quick. Let's keep moving forward. Real fast, I just have 2 more slides, and then Kevin will take the wheel. So the newest incentives, we all like extra cash, right? We want to pay for these leads. In fact, we have exclusive co-op discounted lead programs for our agents. If you're interested, let us know. Manhattan Life starting at $75 per app, and then it goes up from there. Right-hand side, Assurity Life is given $100 with your first app. So that's simple, okay? No questions asked as long as it's not a family member, okay? So get those apps in. Let's move to, oh, you know what? There we go, perfect. One other thing I'm going to mention, and then I'm going to turn it over to Kevin. We have an annuity contest where we give you free annuity leads, or we give you the cash to generate your own marketing. So we're launching that on Valentine's Day as a special gift for all of our agents. So we're launching that on Friday. You'll have 10 weeks to get those annuity apps in. Like I said, we pay for your annuity leads or your marketing dollars. You get to pick, okay? Cash or leads. Let's keep moving forward. What I want to do next is introduce our internal from Ameritas. Kevin, are you there, buddy?
I sure am. Can everyone hear me?
Okay, thank you. Yep, loud and clear.
Perfect. Perfect. Awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen. And actually, it's funny that we have a surety right there. One of my first slides actually talks about Lincoln, Nebraska as a whole, and they are, if you guys don't know, based in Lincoln, Nebraska as well. So
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's funny. Small world.
awesome. Can everyone see my screen here? Want to make sure we're good to go.
Yep, and that looks like Lincoln, Nebraska, Kevin.
Yeah, this one is Lincoln, Nebraska. Actually, guys, you guys should come visit. There's definitely not like a foot of snow on the ground right now. So we'll go ahead and move forward though. So this is kind of what I was going to allude to is, we have the claim to fame that we were the first life insurance company in Nebraska. But, Assurity paid us back by letting us come tour their offices when we were redoing our office. So we took some inspiration from them. So it's a little trade-off that we have there. So a little bit of history about Ameritas before we get into products and all the fancy stuff you guys are here for. We've been around for a while. 1887 was when we were founded. We decided after 100 years of going by Old Banker's Life of Nebraska, a whole sentence, we said, we'll make it easier for our agents. And in 1988, we changed it to Ameritas. So make it a little easier for you guys there. And then we did have a couple mergers that were pretty big for the industry, especially the Acacia one. It was the first ever merger of 2 mutual holding companies with Acacia and Ameritas. And then in 2006, a little bit bigger company, Union Central, also you guys may know them as Unify. That's when they were partnered with us at Ameritas. That is who we merged with. And then in 2014, we decided we're not doing this hyphenated thing where we're merged with people. Everyone's rolling under Ameritas, and we rebranded the name under Ameritas, and then also the logo that you see here, the bison, that was also rebranded. So something very nice there. And then in 2017, it's not on this slide, but that is when we opened our independent distribution channel. So we were only captive up until 2017. So we are still new in the industry, and we'll have some growing pains, but that's why me and then also my other internal sales staff team are here to help you guys make that as easy as possible and give you guys the best experience that we can have. So why Ameritas? Before we get into specifically the products, I want to say a little bit of why you would choose Ameritas specifically. So strongly rated mutual company, that's the given. We do live by that very closely with everything else we do here. Transparent, reliable illustrations. So a little bit about me. I used to work at an IMO. I specifically and strategically chose Ameritas to work with because I can feel comfortable laying my head on my pillow at night knowing that we're doing right by the clients. Because we're not only a mutual company, we have the transparent, reliable illustrations. When it comes to IULs, there's so much you can do. Ameritas chooses not to do that stuff. So it hurts the benchmarking, makes my job a little bit more difficult, but makes it more interesting because I get to talk about all the stuff that really makes an IUL perform well, not just illustrate well. Because at the end of the day, the illustration is just a piece of paper. And that piece of paper can be thrown in the trash, So performance of the company, consistent cap rates is a very big thing. IULs are long-term investments or even whole lives. Keep making sure that your dividends stay as high as we can keep them with the rates that are happening. It's all dependent on how the company actually performs and treats their clients. And at Ameritas, we keep that consistent with old clients to new clients we sell to. We don't try to make any gap that we'll see on the next couple slides. 18 living benefits, you guys are used to this, but it will be coming on new products as well. I do want to make a caveat that I definitely don't have on this slide, but with whole life, it's a little bit different than what you guys are used to. So if you've worked with the FLX before, you know it's based on the initial face value. With whole life, since you're using paid up additions, that goes to death benefit, which actually makes the living benefit an at time of claim. So that makes it to where if your policy increases, you get a little bit more pool of money in the whole life with the living benefit. So definitely something to think about from a sales pitch there. And then we do have foreign national friendly policies. You'll see from I-10s to work permits to true foreign nationals. I have a couple slides in there that'll show you all the benefits that you guys now have with all these products that you're gonna have access to. Before we get it in, you guys may have heard me say stuff that Ameritas is not willing to do on our IULs from a benchmarking standpoint. So with that being said, these are the top 4 that we typically see. Inconsistent cap rates. That means that we're selling you a product and then we're cutting the rates later on in life. We don't have any interest in doing that. And that is not what our actuaries price our products for. You'll actually see on the next slide, we may not have the highest cap, but we're keeping it consistent with clients that we closed products for 7, 10 years ago. So that is a very strong story. And then from a benchmarking standpoint, AG49A and AG49B, you guys may have heard of those. Ameritas was not affected by either of those. We didn't really have to make any changes. The only change we made was with 7702 guidance. All of these were just to make the IUL illustrations more conservative and realistic to what you could actually earn. So Ameritas not having to change anything other than the 7702 guideline was a really strong piece because the 7702 guideline was just dropping the death benefit so policies could actually show some good cash value. The AG49A was typically going after multipliers and really hefty rate of return indexes that we were showing on the illustrations, and then AG49B was attacking bonuses that were not guaranteed. So we didn't participate in any of those, as you can see. That's being transparent with our illustrations, putting our best foot forward. And then loan arbitrage, not going to cover that too much. We stick within the guidelines. That's all you need to know. And then we see some aggressive investment strategies with other companies, and then some offshoring of reinsurance. That's something that Ameritas doesn't do. So if you see that in the news articles or you read anything about that, just know Ameritas does not have any interest in doing those aggressive investments or offshoring liabilities to the Bermudas or the Caymans with reinsurance companies. This is kind of what I want to point out. Don't have any names here, as you can see. The Ameritas FLX, you can see. We don't have the highest cap in the world, but it's consistent with our oldest product, which is the current cap is the gray. And then the in-force product is the red. So you can see I can sell an 11 cap with this company, but if it's 5.1, you know, 5, 10 years down the line, it's not really going to help me if I can't earn my top potential there because my cap is too low. Now, getting to the life products specifically, this is what you guys came here for, to learn everything that you guys now have access to. So here's the full suite of the life insurance products. Now, I don't have anything on disability because you guys actually have a disability internal. I know how to spell it. That's about it. But I do know it is a very solid product from the industry standpoint. And then also, it's something that is really good for a holistic planning. So you can meet a client's need with life insurance, but a lot of people, especially in the United States, do not have enough savings to live off for 3 months, sometimes not even 6 months. So how do you replace that income if you have a disability? It's as simple as getting a disability policy and making sure that that need is also taken care of, not just their life insurance or living benefit or cash down the line need. So definitely something to think about is pitching that disability, and we can get another meeting scheduled if that's something you guys are interested in. But for life insurance products, I'm going to cover these really briefly because we do have some more slides down the line, but you'll see some different color codings here. So the green, these are your direct replacements for FLX. So FLX, you guys technically will still have access to, but it's going to be a little bit slower of a process because we're slowly moving away. So these new products that you have access to, the Clear Edge Living Benefit Term, that's going to be the direct replacement for the FLX Living Benefit Term, and the Growth IUL is going to be the replacement for the FLX IUL. Now, I do want to make a caveat here. If you were to run a Growth IUL and an FLX IUL compared side by side, you're going to say, well, the FLX IUL illustrates better. Yes, that is the truth. And the reason why that is because on the Growth IUL, our captive agents said they wanted more target premium. They wanted a higher target because it wasn't competitive in the industry. So the Growth IUL has a higher target payout to agents, but also it has higher caps. So while it doesn't illustrate as good, it has more earning potential if you have a higher year in whatever index you're allocated to. So it's something to think about, as well as, again, illustration is just purely illustration. It's the piece of paper you print it on. It's like driving a car off the lot. it's going to be this, it's not going to be the same value that you pitched it as. An illustration is never going to be the same. So you want to get something that has higher potential, and that's what the growth has with higher caps and par rates. Now, looking at some other products here that are newer to you guys, the whole lives. I'm just going to mention those very quickly. They're pretty simple. We actually make a pretty good naming convention at Ameritas. Not all companies do that from my IMO experience. But if you see Value Plus anywhere on the screen, you can assure that that product's name, so the Value Plus IUL, that's going to get you the lowest death. That's going to get you the death benefit at the lowest cost. Same with our Value Plus whole life. It's going to be one that it gets dividends, but it's not focused on growing your cash. It's focused on getting you a death benefit as cheap as possible, guaranteed for life. Simple as that. Now, for the other products, they're both cash accumulation. It just depends on when you want to access your money. So if you want to access your money, take a loan out or withdrawal in the first 15 years, it's going to be the access. You want early access, simple as that. And then if you want to grow your policy over time, if you're going to wait 15, 20 years to take that money out, then you're going to use the growth whole life. So easy example, if you have infinite banking or debt elimination concepts that you're working on, access whole life is going to be the clear winner. And if we want to look at juveniles, maybe planning for later retirements and whatnot, you would use the growth whole life because it's going to make a lot more sense because the dividends, especially on the growth whole life, they can really tier up the longer you wait. So if you got an access whole life, but you weren't going to access the money in the first 15 years, probably a mistake because the growth whole life dividend structure after you're 15 is superior. It's not close to the access whole life because the access was specifically made for that purpose. Now, I do want to mention on our whole lives, we do have a nice feature on the Access Whole Life. It was actually built by agents specifically for infinite banking. Now, we don't pitch it and we don't have pieces on infinite banking, but we do take that business in. But the big piece that we have here is there is no premium load on blends of 40% base, 60% FPR. There is a 0% premium load. Very nice. Premium charge is 0. Now, if you were to do 30, so if it's any higher than that 40 or lower than that 40 on the base, so 39%, you're going to then be exposed to an 8% premium charge. That is something I do want to mention that is not on this slide, on any of these slides. And then I won't cover anything else on here because everything else is covered later on. Other than our Value Plus term, I will say if you are looking specifically for mortgage protection or specifically for converting out of a policy, it's going to be the Value Plus term, because the Value Plus term has conversion credits and the Clear Edge does not. So yes, you get the living benefits on the Clear Edge, but you don't get any conversion credits. So if your client says, I just want to convert after a year, maybe 2, put them in that Value Plus because you're going to get the conversion credit that can either be applied to your first year premium on your new product or to the cash value to boost it up automatically. So definitely something nice to think about. And then if you're not used to life insurance and you kind of want to dip your toes in and see how it is, probably want to use our instant term. It's going to be the easiest product to get you instant approvals. You don't have all the wait times that you have with other life insurance products unless you go through full traditional underwriting. Instant term would be a great introductory for you new agents that want to kind of dip your toe into life insurance specifically. Now, looking at our living benefits, these are on all of our products. We do pay them slightly differently, product to product, that we'll see on the next slide. But I do want to mention all of the benefits that we have. So we have 18 living benefit triggers. That's some of the most in the industry. And you'll see on critical illness, we have 5 highlighted here. Those are the top 5 historical payouts when we look at critical illness. And then you'll see 2 of those are in blue. So those are unique to Ameritas only. So you can see other companies can say, yeah, we cover the top 3 out of the top 5, but Ameritas can say we cover the top 5. Simple as that. And then 2 out of 6 ADLs for chronic illness, similar to any other company. Now, we don't break out a separate rider for like an Alzheimer's or dementia. If you have a severe cognitive impairment that qualifies you and you cannot do 2 out of 6 ADLs, you get chronic illness. You're deemed as chronically ill, and then you will get that payout. And then 12 months or less to live for terminal, pretty basic. And you can see the max that you can get with Ameritas is 90%. Why I say it's 90%? On our Clear Edge term, we use a discount approach, so it will be 90% for those. But if you were using our living benefits on our permanent products, those are going to use a lean approach. So very quick explanation of how those 2 differ. It's a sliding scale for a discount. You never know exactly what you're going to get. You know the top tier percentage, which with us is 90. So I can hypothetically, if I have a severe illness and life expectancy after claim, that'll determine what I actually get paid, but I can get up to 90%. And Ameritas will leave 10% as a guarantee. So if I had $1 million policy, we're going to at least leave your client $100,000 as a funeral expense / making sure everything is taken care of on your passing. Now with our living benefits on our other side, it's a guaranteed calculation. There is no calculation. It's guaranteed. On our illustrations, it'll say very clearly, guaranteed amount, you get 25%, 50%, 75%, as you can see correlated here. And it's a dollar for dollar reduction at the time you do it. And then there's a lien placed on the cash value and the death benefit. How that differs from other policies, permanent, that use the discount approach, they take from the account value, the cash value, and the death benefit. And if you guys know, we want to leave that account value untouched because that's what's earning us uninterrupted compounding interest. So lien approach on permanent products is very good for not only getting you that certainty, but also making sure that the policy that you got more than likely for cash value is going to be able to be used later on for cash value. So looking real quick at our ClearEdge living benefit term, not going to cover this too much. I just wanted to throw it on the screen. The big difference you guys will see here is that there is no 300K guaranteed underwriting. That was removed because it was just pricing us out of a lot of positions with our term compared to other living benefit terms. So we did remove that. Our underwriters are working on systems and they have seen improvement on anything up to 500,000. It's pretty close to that 300K guarantee that we had priced in. So even though it's not guaranteed, it's tracking most of the time to almost that same level. So keep that in mind. And then these are the riders that we have. Won't cover anything. It's all stuff that you guys have seen before, specifically on the FLX term. As we can see here, this is kind of a look at the discount approach specifically. As I mentioned, it's a sliding scale. You don't know what you're going to get, but you can get up to 90%. And it's on severity of illness and life expectancy after claim. I don't know if you guys have worked with these before, but how a discount and typically the industry works is that I'm just going to use this client, 36. They have a severe illness and they say, hey, company, give me 600,000 because this is what I have as my top tier. If my underwriting team and the doctor say, actually, they had a severe heart attack, but it's not affecting their life expectancy, we'll give them 300K. What's going to happen at the company is that they're going to either reduce by the 600K that you requested or do the full 90% and only leave your 10% left over. So as you can see on a term, that's not that bad because we're paying, I would say probably for this policy, we probably didn't pay over 50K. I sure hope we didn't. So looking at that, you're going to get a return on your investment. Whereas on the permanent side, you see that that's going to be a little bit more concerning because you got it for cash value. And by reducing that death benefit down, you're more likely to lapse the policy most of the time. So just a little bit of difference to think about when we look at that. And we have an example later on with the living benefits on the lien approach. Conversions, we do convert out of the ClearEdge, and it's not going to be like you guys are used to where it's FLX to FLX. All of our products are convertible to. Simple as that. We don't have conversion only products at Ameritas. So any products we saw earlier can be converted to other than the value plus SIUL because we can't do joint lives. Not going to expect you guys to remember this duration. Just know that it's going to be a max age of 65. So if you have a client that's 60, even if they have a 20-year term, they aren't getting 10, 65 comes first. So that's the max age. And then the minimum conversion that we have on 10 and 15 is 5 years. So any questions before I move over to our IUL chassis?
Oh, I think we are good, Kevin. What we'll do is any questions, just type them in, and then we're going to get back to everyone as soon as we wrap up so we can get everybody in and out today on time.
Awesome, perfect. Well, I will keep moving forward then. So looking at our growth IUL, going to be very similar to what you guys see on the FLX side. The big difference is that we have a little bit more indexes to choose from here. So we can see we have the uncapped BNP that you guys are used to. We also have 2 S&P volatility controlled accounts. The first one being the sector rotator. That's 11 sectors in the S&P. Every 6 months, this index is trying to find the top 5. And from that top 5, it sets the top 3 in price momentum as your index for the next 6 months. And then when that 6 months comes up, it does the same thing, 11, 5, 3, rotates the sectors, hence the name. And then the S&P Mark 5, not going to do that disservice. If you guys have worked in annuity space before, it's a pretty popular index on that side that we're bringing over to the life insurance side. And then for the lifetime income rider, that is something that I really like. I'll pitch it a little bit later, my spin that I like to use on it, but it is included on all of our IUL products, except for the value plus SIUL. So as you can see, we have some nice caps. I always like to point out the fixed account being 4.15. That's a pretty dang good fixed account. So if you have conservative clients, probably good to put them with the mutual company that keeps good consistent cap rates and has a 4.15 fixed account. Pretty solid option. And then this can always be found, our 20-year historical table. At the last page of our illustration, it'll always have the current caps and the current par rates for the indexes that we have servicing. So living benefits. So as you can see, we had that sliding scale on term. We don't have that with our living benefits on our perm product. It's always going to be a guaranteed lump sum based on the initial phase, unless you have a whole life, in which case it's an at time of claim with whatever paid up additions you have. So something to think about there. I want to show you real quick how it works on this side of the house. So we have a female, 35, paying $375 a month. We have a 401 death benefit, 170 cash value, 170 account value. Her offer is 100,000, almost even. So if we have that health crisis at age 60, on a lean approach, we're going to take that from the death benefit, that 100K offer, and then also from the cash value, which is money you can loan from your policy. We leave the account value untouched. Again, that's uninterrupted compounding interest. That's the benefit of having a lean approach. And the benefit of having a lean approach and letting this policy sit for 10 years, we see that the lien went up by about 29,000, which lowered our death benefit. But remember, our IUL, we most of the time get for that cash value play. Sometimes you get it for the living benefits, but we don't want to penalize your client for taking a living benefit from their policy, which is why the lien is good, because over that 10-year gap, we grow our account value by 150,000 roughly, and our cash value grew by 120,000. Whereas if I was on a discount approach, it would have not grown that quick, because instead of being at 170,000 here, we would have been at 70,000, because that reduces that offer by the death benefit, the cash value, and the account value on discount. Whereas with lien, we leave the account value untouched, and that's what earns you your money. Simple as that. Lifetime income rider, I want to cover this because this is a really solid product feature. It's built into the product, and you don't pay for it unless you choose to activate it, at which time there's an account value fee on the account value. So to activate this rider, you have to have the policy for 10 years, have to be between the ages of 50 and 85. And then this is the big one. You will not receive any other benefits from your product. It's kind of like annuitizing your life insurance. It's the best way to say it, because you're going to get a guaranteed income for the rest of your life, but you won't have any other riders. And then your death benefit will go slowly down by whatever you take out of the policy. So let's take a quick look. That same client paying $375 a month. Over 30 years, the client would have paid $135,000 to Ameritas. At age 65, she has roughly $250,000 in account value if she wanted to just take a regular loan. But she says, okay, we're going to activate the lifetime income rider. So we get $1,200 a month, and in a 20-year gap from 65 to 85, she's doubled her money, more than doubled her money that she put into this policy. And then if she has longevity in her family history and she lives to age 100, she gets $550. That's a pretty good return on investment. Now, I always have to pitch this because I am a 28-year-old. So this works for all generations, but this is a great option for you guys when it comes to selling, because if we're looking at people in my generation, one of two things is going to happen with Social Security. The first being the unlikely option of it won't exist at all. I don't think that's going to happen. The more realistic thing is it's going to be significantly less than what I planned for in my retirement. So how are you as agents going to be able to help with a solution? This is a great solution, because again, remember, I never have to use this lifetime income rider. It can supplement my retirement, but if I don't use it, if my assets get me where I need to be and I don't outlive my money, I can use that $250,000 at age 65 to go pay for a house, pay for a boat, pay off my kid's college fund, whatever it may be. If I never use the cash from that policy, I then now have living benefits. If I never use the cash or the living benefits, guess what? I have what life insurance is made for, a death benefit. So it is a four-pronged tool, and that fourth prong is that lifetime income rider that I can never outlive because it's guaranteed for the rest of my life. So something to think about for sure when you're looking at selling this. And then I have a couple other slides here. These are the products that are a little bit newer to you guys, and I personally love these products. They're some of the best ones that I think we have here, especially with this Value Plus IUL, because it is a focused on getting you a guaranteed death benefit. But as you guys can see, that lifetime income rider, it's built in on this policy. So how I like to pitch this product is, this is for your client that's focused on death benefit. They don't want to pay a whole life price, but they want to get a guarantee. So this gets them to age 90 or 50 years, depending on how old the client is. So for me, it'd be 50 years because I'm not going to get to age 90. But if you have a 60-year-old client, it's going to guarantee them to age 90. We have a 3% look back on it. So it's going to be, if you don't make 3% in the first 10 years, we true you up. Simple as that. And then this is what I like about it is, if I were to get a GUL at another company, I know those don't exist as much as they used to anymore, but let's just say for this example, I get a GUL instead of the protection IUL with Ameritas. If I wanted to switch my play from a death benefit to a cash play, one, I have to hope that there's money in the GUL. Most of the times there isn't. Sometimes there is, but most times there isn't. So what I would have to do is Now at an older age, less insurable, probably have some more health risks, I'm going to have to go reapply for a cash value product. Whereas if I were to put a client into our protection IUL, I can switch them from that death benefit play. Hopefully I earned a good amount in my IUL index, whatever I chose, and I can turn on that lifetime income rider and get guaranteed form of income for the rest of my life. That's a powerful switch, guys. This is the one of my favorite products because it fits so many clients' needs because it still does earn good cash, and it has a fairly good cap, or I think it's about 7.75 to 8%. So it's about a point off of our accumulation. So not too shabby. And it has that guarantee built in. So this is a really a good one of our cheapest products, and it's a hybrid that you can kind of make fit most clients. And then this one, the Value Plus SIUL, this is going to be a huge product, especially with the Tax Jobs Cut Act coming up and the sunsetting of estate taxing exemptions. So hot product here. It's going to have your typical with SIULs. One individual can be uninsurable, and then the other has to have some kind of insurability. So that's nice. It does have living benefits on the surviving spouse. Now, here's a big one, especially for Gary Levinson associates to remember. Even if it is the uninsurable, that is the second surviving spouse. So let's say in the unlikely event that the standard non-tobacco or the preferred non-tobacco client passes away first, that second person, even if they're uninsurable, gets the living benefits. Other companies I know, at least when I worked with SIULs, did not do that. Your living benefits usually get cut off at table D. So that's something nice to think about. And then another thing, if your clients were to get table F or better, we can actually turn this policy into something similar to a first to die. It's not a first to die, but we have what's called an other insured rider, which is just a benefit pool of money that we specify. So I'm just going to use a quick example. We have a 500K SIUL. That's the 500K base. I put 500K on the first client and the other insured rider, and then 500K on the second insured rider. Simply said, whoever passes first, that'll pay the 500K. And then the second person passing, the 500K from the term rider gets paid. And then also it'll pay the base of the 500K from the SIUL. So if you guys have those clients, especially in estate protection, and they want something when that first client dies, and then they also want to protect the estate, this is going to be a solid product with that other insured rider. Something to definitely think about there. And then I do want to move into underwriting, but real quick, do we have any questions on product? I know we said we were going to hold them at the end, but I like to kind of break it up into segments here.
Nope, I think we are good. The only thing I want to save a couple minutes for at the end is if we can just talk about like the hottest products that you're seeing right now for 2025, where you're getting the most premium in the door from the old career side and the brokerage side.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I absolutely can do that. So I'll fly through this underwriting real quick because you guys know this is very similar to other companies. So 18 to 50, 2.5 million. That's actually new for us. 18 to 60, you can get up to 1 million. Limitations, you'll automatically not qualify if you have anything on the right. You can always select yes on our underwriting acceleration, and it'll tell you if you qualify or not for that program on our e-app. And I did want to mention this. This is the one that kind of Ameritas is known for right now, is our I-10 or work permit. So on the left-hand side is work permit users. So have a social security and then some kind of visa / work permit. You have to have seen a U.S. physician within the last 2 years. You have to live in the United States for 12 consecutive months or more to qualify and pay from a U.S. bank. I-10, you can see it's the exact same thing. The only difference is you don't have a social security, but you have a tax identification number, which means you're paying taxes to the government, but you don't have a social security status here. And the big thing here, if your client hasn't seen a physician in the last 2 years, you can always send them to urgent care, get that client's that physician's name, put it on the application. Our underwriters are perfectly fine with that and are okay with us pitching that. So I'm gonna take there. Now, the last slide here, the last couple of slides, I do want to mention, this is something that you guys definitely want to download because it is going to be how you track all of your non-FLX business, all this new business you guys are getting. You can track it from start to finish on your phone, and you can upload requirements. You can track even your in-force business. So it's going to be a great app for you guys to use. Either scan these or any app store you use. It's called Ameritas Agent, and it will be the handshake logo that you see right here. So highly recommend doing this. And then also you can quote our Value Plus term and Clear Edge term on here as well. So it's a really good one-stop shop for you guys to be agents on the go and track your business. And then finally, this is the last slide I have. Anything that we covered today that you guys felt, hey, I want a little bit deeper dive because I got on here a little late. So you can always click on this link or click on the top red bar you guys see here, Learning Center, there will be a drop down menu and it'll say training. It'll take you to the same page. But this is going to have videos and then also brochures on every single one of these pieces that you see. So it's a really great tool for you guys to learn products without having to call Ameritas or Carrie Levinson either on the go. So that is all I had specifically. So if someone wants to stop my screen share or whatever, I never know how to stop it on this one. But we can talk about the products now and address any questions.
Yeah, no, let's just tell us the latest and greatest, hottest products, riders that you're seeing across the board in these first 6 weeks here, Kev.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to do 3 products. One that's not going to be the one that's hot selling, but I do think it's going to be a hot seller, and then the lifetime income rider. So I'll just point out the living benefits and the lifetime income rider are amazing riders, phenomenal riders, and that's because they're built into the policy and they just give you so much that you can do within your policy, whether that's living benefits or that guaranteed income that I mentioned. Now, the products that you guys are going to want to use, you want to get your Value Plus stuff in right now. The Value Plus IUL, get it in now because they're looking at repricing it, and everyone knows with reprices, it's never making it cheaper on permanent products. So definitely if you have anyone that's interested in that value protection for the IUL, definitely make sure you get that in quickly. And then our hottest selling product at Ameritas has been year over year is that Access Whole Life. So if you guys don't remember, that's the whole life that if you're going to take money from your policy, loans or withdrawals in the first 15 years, infinite bank debt elimination, that's what most people think of, you're going to want to use that Access Whole Life. And that is our best selling product at Ameritas. And then on top of that, for 2025, for estate protection planning, that SIUL is going to be amazing. It's just very price effective when it comes to covering 2 people's lives and making sure that you're offsetting that estate tax that could exist with that tax jobs cut, lowering that exemption from roughly 14 million to 7 million, depending on inflation. So you guys want to make sure that you're getting that taken care of as well. Did that hit it all, Bill? I think I kind of covered everything there.
Yeah, no. That was great. I think we are good to go. What we'll do is all questions. We're going to have our marketers get back to you today. And then if we need to, we can patch Kevin in or Dylan. He's our VP at Ameritas. And we should be good to go. So thank you again, Kevin. I have a few more items I want to cover just real fast. We want to talk a little bit about getting started. I want to show you quoting and then applying. And then we have some great social media posts that we ran, in fact, this morning that are working great. So I want to give you some great sales strategies, ideas on social to help you spread the word and obviously get more clients in sales. Okay, so real fast, how to get started. Everything is on our website. You just follow that yellow arrow and we will get you set up. If you had the prior Ameritas contract, just let us know, and then we can add on the additional products that we just touched on, including the new the DI product as well, which is, from what I'm hearing and seeing, it's one of the top, probably 2 or 3 products in the industry. So you definitely want to take a look at that as well. I know we didn't get a chance to touch on it today, but we did on the last webinar with Dylan. So and I'm sure we'll have another one upcoming, but you definitely want to quote that on your next DI appointment. Let's keep moving forward. So on our website today, we have a built-in, this is pretty cool. So think of the term quote engine that you're so used to using and then sending out to your consumers. But so we have the same thing on the permanent side. And what's neat about it, Ameritas is part of the platform. It's called iSolve. It's free for all of our agents. What's so cool is you put in the basic client information on left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, you'll see the arrow, and then that is the actual IUL in term quote. So we have this for the term and perm options as well. And then when you hit apply, it takes all of that client data and it populates into the e-app. So you fill out what's ever missing, you hit submit, you are done and off to the races. Okay, so less than 14 minutes, A to Z, and everything is complimentary in our Levinson and Associates website. Let's keep moving forward. So what we did is a search, and I encourage you to do the same thing. Go on Facebook, go on Instagram, even LinkedIn, okay, and put in some of these hot topics or terms or hashtags, okay, indexed universal life, disability coverage, whatever. And you're going to see 2 options. Typically, it's recent or top performing, and I like to look at both. So these are 4 examples, okay, for DI, okay, and that's what you're looking at in front of you. Top left-hand corner, one of our agencies put out a simple quote based on DI. They had 21 likes, okay, and again, it's not about reinventing the wheel. It's changing a few spokes, okay, and I just want you to get the point. You don't have to be a rocket scientist, a professional graphic artist. No, okay, everything is already there for you. We can even co-brand this stuff for you so you can just get it out for free, okay, and even if you get 2 people that liked it and then 1 comment, that's a new lead, okay. You reach out, you say, hey, Bobby, I saw you had a question on my disability quote post here. Anything I can help you with? Yeah, I'd love to get a quote. Boom, done. Rest is history. Okay. All right. So I think you get the message. Let's move to the Wheel of Fortune there on the bottom. That's from a State Farm agency. But again, look at those great ideas, and it's just common sense 101. So let's keep moving. Disability insurance because life happens. And then on the bottom right corner, it's easier to pay $50 a month than to try to find 20 grand in 1 week, right? Get life insurance. That's focused more on final expense. But again, look just between these 4 basic posts that created 5, 9 comments, which are potentially 9 free leads, okay, and over 300 likes. So that's how you build the business on autopilot in the background when you're at Starbucks or the local Ponderosa holding a seminar. Okay, that's how you have to operate, especially in 25. You got to utilize the latest technology. On top of this, make sure you're doing your e-blast, your ringy text messaging, okay, to your hot list clients and cross-selling. You have all this stuff running in the background on autopilot. While you should be doing what you're the best at, which is selling in person, on the phone, through Zoom, right? Because you're the best looking guy or girl in the world and you have that gift to gab personality. So all this stuff is running in the background. You are the front person making it happen, okay? And you should have appointments lined up, literally one after another, if you're doing it the right way. It takes time and it's not easy, okay? But if you put in your action plan and you don't let your foot off the gas, I promise you it will happen. And I know this for a fact because that's how we were built in a nutshell. We went from 250 agents in South Florida to over 24,000 agents in the entire U.S. We have agents in almost every city. And it was literally built because of technology, social media posting, e-blasting, group texting. Okay, you get the hint. And you know that because you're getting our messages. That's why, in fact, you're on here today with us. All right, let's keep moving. Enough of my ranting. My next slide is every other week we send out our 411 newsletter. This was sent out last night. I love this because if my agent hat is on, I need to know what's going on with all of my carriers and products on the DI side, life insurance side, annuity side, all my supplemental products. What product was discontinued? Oh, I now have access to 12 new Ameritas products. Well, this is where you're going to find everything. Okay. One graphic image, you click, link is there, done. Everything is in front of you. Okay. So you got to make sure you're getting these. If you're not, let me know. It means we have your incorrect email address. And again, every other week with fresh content for that week and the prior week. Let's keep moving forward. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., this is our typical weekly webinar series where we have our giveaways and we typically stay on for an hour. John Hancock is back, bigger and better, A+ rated, brand new product launch tomorrow. And then we're going to talk about all of the latest and greatest with John Hancock on the brokerage side. Okay, these aren't those overpriced non-med mortgage protection products. This is the most competitive brokerage life products and a new linked benefit hybrid you're going to love. Okay, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. My second to last slide here is our training guide. So real fast, what I want to talk about is, I just touched on tomorrow, just under that, Lincoln Financial. Under that, we have Mary Reed. She's our keynote at the expo. She's coming on live on the 27th. And then we're doing a 100-foot overview on how to do business with us in 2025, leveraging our latest technology and platforms. In fact, in a new lead program, I'm going to give you a little hint. Just under that, we talk about our co-op website and social media platform. This is a no-brainer. I just touched on that a few minutes ago. We have new artificial intelligence tech that's now built into the platform. We'll give you a sneak peek. Lloyd's of London. Okay, those hard to place cases. It could be disability, life, failure to survive. It could be for foreign nationals. Any of those types of cases that don't belong with, like, let's say, a Lincoln or an Ameritas in that traditional underwriting world. Lloyd's is a great option. Sometimes, most of the time, it's the only option. So we have a direct IMO contract. We'll talk about all of the latest with Lloyd's. Just under that, Allianz, we're having a relaunch. We're going to talk about Rate Lock, which most people don't know about. It's amazing. That's probably, well, not probably, but that's our number one selling IUL, at least in 2024, with the Allianz product. And then I know Ameritas is hot with all these LBs. So I know we're going to do a lot with them as well. Not just saying that because they're on today, but we do have a ton of great products for this year. Super excited. And I'm excited to see what the results will be and who will be number 1 and 2. Let's go to my last slide here, my Positive Tuesday quote of the week. And I know we spoke about making this short and to the point today because I have another webinar tomorrow, but we did have some issues in the beginning, so my apologies. I know we went over. Questions, comments, feedback, please use the Q&A pane or just call in, okay? And if it's something important, urgent, whatever, me and Carrie are here to help you too. If it's pushing a case over the finish line, if maybe 99% of the time we feel like we give the best service possible, but there could be a time or two where a ball is dropped, pick up the phone, call Carrie or myself, or shoot us an email, say, Bill, what time is good, okay? And I think the best solution, if I'm an agent, right, you need to know if I have a problem, Bill or Carrie are here for me, period. Okay. And if you can't say that, that's a problem. And I want to get through that. Okay. And make sure that you're comfortable moving forward. My Positive Tuesday quote of the week: your dreams become reality when your thoughts become your actions. That's exactly what we spoke about today with social media marketing. Set it and forget it. Let's focus on you doing what you're best at and then have all of your marketing working in the background. What's that going to do? It's going to fill up your inbox with new appointments, new clients, new cross-selling opportunities, everything from A to Z. That's how we have to look at this life that we're in, okay, which is called life insurance sales. Let's have a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. Good selling. Thank you again, everyone.